following announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
Playing music today. This is a bitch fest here about that crap we saw on Saturday. The fix was in. It was 100% fixed. Oh, is it blurred out?
It's blurred out for copyright and image likeness.
Well done, StreamYard. Yeah, that's impressive. Whoa, welcome. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Couchcasters podcast. This is Steelers Talk with my man Fonzarelli, Scott Fonzie, official Yinzer himself, through Nashville, through T-Town, from Pittsburgh, here to talk about what's left of the Steelers season. And here we are. So, Scott, man, welcome to the show, dude. Thanks for coming on to want to talk about whatever this is.
Yeah, sure thing.
I think it's safe to say that the season is kind of taking a downturn. Could be a light at the end of the tunnel, though. If a season's bad enough, it'll force some changes. That's kind of what we're hoping. The season will be so bad that it forces some people to make some changes. But we'll see how that goes. But the offense is pretty bad. Like dead last in every category, dead last in just about everything. It's really difficult to watch the Steelers play. What are your thoughts, man?
I don't know what else to add to that. They're just brutal. They're terrible.
They are brutal.
There's no creativity. You know, if we did this show every week, we'd just bore people to death because it's the same thing over and over and over. I mean,
it's like watching the Steeler offense over and over, bore people to death. Same thing over and over.
Jet sweeps, out routes, and missed opportunities. It's all they are right now. Looking forward, though, I mean, hopefully we can hope we get destroyed by the Eagles this week. Maybe Matt Canada gets ran out of town. I don't know. Eagles have a good defense. Highly doubt we'll make a move during the season. But those last 9 games, if we can just get some production, we can make something out of this season.
That's a big if. That's a big if. I don't know, man. This is going on like year 3 now with, we've had 3 different quarterbacks run this system and with really the same results, which is little to nothing. For a whole season, I was thinking, okay, Ben was so warped last year. He was, he couldn't throw anything. So I was like, well, maybe it's a product of that. But then Mitch ran it the same way. Kenny's run it the same way. There's no creativity on the running side. There's nothing getting guys in space, creating mismatches. It's a big problem like I have when we do our Bama show. And I complain about the offense on that show is this. It's the same. There's just no creativity, and I don't know if it starts with the offensive line up front. Like I don't know. I think we have 1 decent lineman out of 5.
James Daniels has played very well.
Yes, that's who I was thinking of. 78.
Be honest, Dan Moore struggled. Outside of that, I haven't seen anyone that's been like a glaring issue.
Yeah, Dan Moore's been rough. Chooks is hit or miss, I don't know. I seem to know his name a lot more than I should. Like offensive linemen, if you know their names, that's a bad thing.
Right.
But I don't know, man. It's just it's. And Tomlin in that article was like, we'll just keep plugging away at it. Eventually, we have a breakthrough. And I'm like, that spoke about somebody who's not really on a hot seat, if you ask me. Like,
Yeah. I mean, he feels no urgency. He's comfortable.
No. I mean,
He's been
if
comfortable for years.
yeah. I mean, he should have started Pickett to start the season. I mean, rookie or not, he should have, instead of putting him in the fourth or fifth game, he should have put, if he's going to do that, should have put Pickett in when we had a home game and 10 days off to prepare before running him out against Buffalo and getting killed. And then, this game against the Dolphins, he played somewhat decent, but like you said, the last couple drives, he just threw the game away. Like,
Oh,
I mean,
this is what drives me nuts about Pittsburgh media, Steelers fans. They either hate Kenny or they love him. And you will get crucified if you say he had a bad game. You'll get crucified if you said he played well, he was incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, but those two picks threw the game for us.
I mean, that was brutal. I mean, and he had a decent game. He made some throws.
He did.
The pick to Claypool, I thought Claypool fell early again, like he always does. I swear to God, that guy is on the ground more than anybody I've ever seen. I mean, for being the physical freak that he is, that guy is always on the ground.
Oh,
And-
he's more than 10 yards downfield.
He's going down. If you throw a deep ball to him, he's going to the ground. Whether he catches it or not, he's going to the ground. Man, he makes me nuts. Chase Claypool makes me nuts. I'm like, somebody that big and strong should just rip balls out of the air. I mean, every DB that goes up with him should just get the ball ripped from him. I mean, he should just rip balls out of the air every time. I mean, every time.
Doesn't know how to use his body.
No, not yet.
And, last 2 weeks he's played fairly well, but, he's basically acting as a slot guy with the routes he's running.
Yeah.
Everything's short, everything's quick. We don't need him to do that. We need someone downfield. Pickens can do that. Deontay, he doesn't drop it, can.
God, that's a big if.
Big if. But
That's a big if. I mean, Stonehands over there. I'm with you. Pickens is the guy. That's where we need to be
he's the man.
feeding the rock on the outside when we're throwing deep. I mean, that guy needs, like what we say the other day, like 15 targets a game. Like just throwing the ball in some way. Whether it's they love those wide receiver screens. I can't stand that play, but they love those wide receiver screens or anything to get the ball in that guy's hands. That guy's a beast.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he should be the focal point of our offense right now. Should pretty much run through him. I mean,
Agreed.
and in our current
Yeah.
situation. But,
Yeah.
I mean, he's the best player on the field whenever he gets the ball.
You can't argue that.
He is.
You can't argue that.
Let him
Speed,
make a
quickness, athletic. I mean, the guy's he's a beast. The fact that he only gets like 6 targets. Last game, what do you have? 6 targets, 6 catches, 60-something yards, and a touchdown.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty.
If I recall, 3 of the targets came on one drive, 2 came on another.
Yeah.
I mean, we
Well, here's
advanced
my problem.
2 quarters.
Yes, you're right. Yeah, like he made that awesome toe tap touchdown and then didn't get another ball thrown to him for like 2 quarters. Like feet immediately. The very first play after you get the ball back, instead of the Matt Canada run up the middle on first down play, like go right to him again. And if he snags one out of the air, get to the huddle and go right to him again. Like I don't know. Maybe it's some wishful thinking about Madden thinking where you just keep throwing to the same guy. But to me, the good things happen when they throw to him. When they throw to Deontay, bad things happen. I'm not saying because Deontay is a bad player, but just the pick to end the game was to Deontay. The drive stalling incompletions are thrown at Deontay. Like just bad things happen. I don't understand it. I don't know if it's a mojo or what, but just bad things happen when we throw it to him.
I mean, he's really good in tight coverage.
Yes.
He is. He's pretty quick. Like, I mean, he only needs to be open for a second. You can get the ball.
Right.
to him. But my God, he'll be blanketed, and we're still targeting the guy. The guy gets targeted 15 times a game, and 8 of them are catchable. And he'll catch 6 of them. I mean, he's a good player, but oh my God.
Yeah, and then he'll take one off his hands that'll go up in the air and come down in the DB's hand or something.
all the time. It's
all the time. That's what makes me nuts about that dude is like all the deflections or the bounce off his hands or bounce off his chest. Oh, Deontay, come on, dog. Catch the ball. Makes me nuts. I did see TJ's practicing today, so, I mean, that's good for the defense. But the defense really has been, outside of Buffalo, that was really everything that could go wrong that day did. But the defense hasn't played really half bad since TJ went down. I mean, they're not as good without him, but he hasn't the defense hadn't played terrible without him. They don't have a pass rush, but the back end has held up for the most part.
Yeah,
sans Buffalo.
I mean, I don't think they're marquee Steelers defense that's a top 5 unit, but
yeah, I'd agree.
They have some players. They've kept us in games. We absolutely should have won Sunday night if they just got a couple picks and we learned how to score.
Do you drop 5 interceptions?
Probably didn't deserve to, but
5 interceptions. How is that even possible?
Tua did not look good.
Like, how is that even possible? Like the Cam Sutton one was like, I mean, it was so bad underthrown. I mean, it was a perfect throw to him.
I know.
Like, I just don't get it. It was like a perfect throw to him, and I mean, it's like he had 2 feet he was trying to catch with.
It's reminiscent of Ike Taylor.
Ow! Ike T squared. Don't do that to me, Scotty. Ike T squared. I can't do that. Ike Taylor.
I mean, he was locked down. Couldn't catch. But
well, there's a reason that he was a defensive back and not a wide receiver. Cause
true that.
Although he did have the one play against Denver in that playoff game. Oh, too soon. Got rest in peace, Demaryius Thomas. But yeah, like the dropped interceptions were just. I mean, I just couldn't believe it. Levi Wallace had 2 that they weren't easy, but they hit both of his hands. And if it hits both your hands, you got to bring it in.
Oh yeah, big time.
Like,
and Edmonds, that one play on Tyreek Hill, great play. He made a great play. He did exactly what he should have. If he would have turned his head a split second sooner, I think he would have came up with it.
I think you're 100% right. Like, I swear I screamed that. Guy, just turn around. It's like watching a Bama game, dude. If they just turn around, we'd lead the nation in interceptions if the guys just turn around and look.
I know.
But that's kind of how I felt like the Steelers, man. I mean, just balls, and Tua was throwing knuckleballs out there, man. I mean, he had nothing on his throws, and they were just gimmies. And I mean,
we can't blame it on the defense, but
yeah,
we probably would have won that game.
The defense outside of that one drive where Miami went down and scored, the defense locked them down. I mean, 0 points the second half. I mean, 3 field goals. After that opening touchdown drive they just went right down the field with Waddle, and bing bang boom touchdown. And I was like, well, this is going to be a long night. But the defense said enough is enough, and they buckled down. The second half, Dolphins had egg. Unfortunately, the Steelers had egg as well.
Yeah, so did we.
It's like the defense pitches a shutout and goes, offense, what you got? Offense goes, we got zilch.
I mean, especially those 2 combined for, 160 yards, Waddle and Hill?
Yeah.
If you would have told me coming in that we would have held both those guys combined to 160, I'd
have said we would have won going away.
We won that game, yeah. But
except we can't score.
Yeah. It's hard. It's always I always forget about how bad the offense really is. They leave a lot to be desired.
And that's legit. Like, that's a legit thing because the offense is a total dumpster fire. People have been fired from their jobs for being this bad at it. If I went to work every day and was as crappy at my job as Matt Canada is, they would fire me. They would have, and this is 3 years now, they would have long fired me. Like Vince McMahon, you're fired. But for whatever reason.
He's really bad. I don't know how he's in Pittsburgh. I don't. Like he should never ever. He shouldn't be in the NFL. He just shouldn't.
He's terrible. Look. Here's my suggestion. Okay, find whoever Pickett's OC was at Pitt last year and hire that man.
Oh, he's at Nebraska now. So.
Oh, he is? Okay. Is he the interim coach in Nebraska now that Frost got fired?
I think he's still the offensive coordinator.
Okay. Okay. Well, he did wonders for KP last year, so I don't know. Maybe call him up. Say what plays you can give us. Because
he's been around. I know he was at UMass, which is like, it's UMass. They're not good, but Pitt saw something in him. Better than Matt Canada, who's just been lazy wherever he's went. I mean, at LSU, he was not impressive. And as soon as he's gone.
Canada was at LSU?
Yeah.
Really?
Brady. Yep.
Oh.
He's at LSU. He was at Pitt.
I didn't know Matt Canada was at LSU and Pitt. God, it's like the guy's following us.
Yeah.
Everywhere we go, there's Matt Canada. Please.
And he had a stop before Pittsburgh, before the Steelers, in college.
Jeez, oh God.
But
he's running that same offense.
Oh yeah, I mean, he hasn't upgraded that since he's been a graduate.
I mean, he's got to be getting killed. He's got to be getting killed in the media up there. I mean, he's got to be just getting just got to be getting crushed. No,
he's getting ripped. The players are ripping him.
Are the players?
The players are ripping him to the media without saying his name. And he won't change anything.
Without saying his name.
It's nuts. Like, I mean, 3rd and 1. We're 3rd and 1 at the 50? About midfield.
Yeah.
You have the line stacked to the right, and we run a misdirection off the tackle on the other side. What are you doing? The guy just goes unblocked.
Dude,
and it's
went right in, busted the play up.
Yeah.
I think my favorite sequence from the game against the Dolphins was the 2nd and 4, where we did a 1-yard pass and then a 2-yard pass and wound up 4th and 1 and punted.
It's just comical. It really is. It's like
I saw something on Twitter right after that. It was like
drawing routes on it, and then it's like looks good.
And everybody goes out for the route, and Kenny throws it to the one guy that ran the route 3 yards short on 2nd and 4. It's like okay. And 3rd and 3, he again throws underneath to Najee for a 2-yard gain, and it's 4th and 1, and we punted. That's the hardest. I remember laughing at a Steeler game in a long time. I could not stop laughing. I mean, it was tears. It was 2nd and 4, and we went 2 completed passes and punted.
It's the concepts too. That's what drives me mad. There's a time and a place for short routes. We will take a shot on 2nd down, but if it's 3rd and 12. You best believe that ball is going to the check down.
Check. If it's 3rd and anything.
Trying to get
if it's 3rd and 4, it's going to the check down. I've never seen a team run more routes a yard shy of a first down than the Steelers. Deontay will catch the ball for a first down and run backwards or dive backwards.
That too.
Yeah. Oh gosh, no. Deontay infuriates me when he does that. So he drives me nuts anyway. Deontay does. He's just not consistent enough. But he runs his mouth. He's talking to the media. Shit talking to the fans who are riding him because he wants Tyreek money, but he's giving you Scotty Miller production. So and the Steelers aren't gonna pay that kind of money.
No.
Antonio Brown was a Hall of Famer, and they were like, "We're not going to pay the guy. See ya."
That was different. The market was different.
Yeah,
wide receivers. But if anyone deserved big money, it was AB.
Yeah, that would have been the worst thing that ever happened to him, besides the Burfict hit. because he's lost his mind since then.
I was going to say, I don't think it'd be on the Steelers anyway.
No, he was going to be gone anyway. He sealed his fate with that Facebook video he did live from the locker room, and Tomlin was trying to fire him up to go beat the Patriots, and he recorded it, and then it got out and bulletin board, and then we lost to the Patriots. So yeah, well, I know I have to be more specific when I say we lost to the Patriots. I could just there's several of those I can pick from.
I was going to say they ruined us for a decade. We would probably have 2 or 3 Super Bowls in that span. With that.
Dude, like the fact that we never went to a Super Bowl with Ben, AB, and Le'Veon in their primes is.
No.
Terrible. I mean, it's says more about Tomlin, but it also says the fact that we just happened to come across the Brady decade, and a lot of people got stumped along the way by that dude.
Oh yeah, I mean he's in the Super Bowl pretty much every year.
It's a shame that we never were more of a threat with Ben, AB, and Le'Veon in that 4 or 5 year window where they were in their prime. And we had a good offense. I mean, that game we lost to Jacksonville, Ben threw for like 550 yards in that game or something. That game we lost in that shootout to Jacksonville, we were down like 28-0 in the first quarter, just like the Browns game. Just like the Chiefs game. A lot of these Tomlin playoff games wind up with us coming out flat as a pancake, not ready to play, down 3 or 4 scores in the first half.
Yep.
Just like that. That's the Tomlin MO. That's the Tomlin modus operandi. In playoff games for the last several. That's my biggest issue with him. When everybody keeps harping on the non-losing season for 15 years. I'm like, what's his playoff record? Oh, 8-10. Oh, okay, right. Or 8-9 or something. He's under 500 in the playoffs. And I was like, so I don't want to hear about regular season stuff after 16 years. You need more than 2 Super Bowl appearances in 16 years if you're going to keep claiming that.
Yeah.
And you have a Hall of Fame quarterback, Hall of Fame receiver, and Le'Veon was on a Hall of Fame track before he lost his mind again. It's like, I don't know what it is with these dudes, man.
What could have been? I mean, that was probably the most impressive offense.
Yeah, I would agree with that, man, because Juju was a great compliment. Yeah.
They were unreal.
Juju was a great compliment to AB. Before AB started throwing him under the bus, their tight end play was pretty good. Line play was decent, but Ben made a lot of that work, and that offensive scheme and a lot of that work. And Prime Le'Veon, man, I'm telling you, was top 3 in the league when he was in his prime. Maybe top 2, maybe. Yeah, maybe top 2 that 2-3 year stretch.
I would die for someone like that right now. Love Najee.
Najee's almost that way, except the holes don't open up. Najee's a patient runner, except the difference with Le'Veon is a hole would open up. And with Najee, a hole never opens because there's no deep threat. And so they're guys in the box all the time.
Oh, they load up. I mean,
yeah.
We keep harping on. There's not much to say, though. Like, they're just so uncreative, and there's so much wrong with the Steelers' offense. And
we got Philly on Sunday. Yeah.
I don't know if there's a ceiling. They're just bad.
They are very, very bad. We're 2-5 now. We got Philly Sunday. I mean, we shouldn't win that game. If we win that game, I'll be freaking shocked if we win that game. I hate saying that's a definite loss because I didn't think we were going to win another game after we beat Cincinnati in the opener. I didn't think we'd win another game, period, after watching this team play. But somehow they beat Tampa. They were competitive against Miami. I don't think they're going to be even competitive against Philly, although they might just because it's a rival. Then the bye week, and then I think we got like the Saints, the Colts.
The Saints. We play the Bengals again.
Yeah, and then we play the Falcons and the Colts. Of course, the Colts just benched Matt Ryan, but But, I mean, I hate wanting to tank, but, I don't want to wind up 8-9 and picking, 19th. If we're going to have a shit season, I would rather it be total and then us pick top 5 and we can get either a quarterback if we need one or mainly like a left tackle, an elite left tackle. If we're going to have Kenny, if Kenny's going to be the man, we got to get somebody protecting his blind side.
No, for sure. I think it'll be nice. I would prefer if we just won like 4 games. The reality is we probably are going to be closer to like 7-10, I think, just looking at our second half schedule. But we never get to really choose who we want. We always got to take, the 3rd or 4th best guy at a given position.
Yeah.
So,
well, I think Bush was the highest we've drafted in a while.
Oh, yeah.
Took him 10th,
Top
I
10.
think.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not going to get a second contract. They've already declined his 5th-year option. So add that to the long list of players that we draft that never make it to their second contract. That's an odd stat, but I don't know, man. I don't know what the answer. I mean, the answer is obviously they got to shake things up. I don't think they're going to do it mid-season, like you said earlier. I don't think it's going to happen mid-season. However, I think this year is so bad. I mean, they're unwatchable. I mean, you can't watch this team play offensively. It's a crime to the defense. The 3 and outs, like bang, 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 punt, bang, 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 punt, bang, 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 punt. And it's so awful to watch that, like, finally maybe this means that he'll have to do something. Even though Tomlin said in his quote, he's the company telling, he's not going to throw his guy under the bus. But this is so bad, even he can't ignore this. Even stubborn, old-fashioned, defensive-minded Tomlin can't ignore this.
He's got to do something, and I think he likes being the dictator. I think he likes having all the power. I think that's why he doesn't hire coordinators that have much of a presence, if that's the right word.
Yeah.
Well,
he always promotes from within. So a lot of the guys are, Fichtner and Matt Canada. 6 of one, half dozen of the other. It's the same exact guy.
Mm-hmm.
There's no difference, and that was my fear when I was talking to my cousin Mike about this, Big Mike about this, when they promoted Canada, the year before last. I was like, it's going to be the same offense. The quarterback's coach is going to run the same stuff, maybe a wrinkle or two different here and there, but they're not going to completely turn the offense upside down. That's not the Steeler way. But they can't ignore this anymore. Like, we cannot ignore this anymore. We can't be last in everything every year and haven't scored 20 points, but, once in however many, or twice this year, but however many games it was. I mean, it's just insane, man.
It's like with the talent too, like this offense, no matter what you want to say about, Deontay Johnson or Chase Claypool or any of those guys, they have their issues, but this unit bunch should not be last in the NFL in anything.
Agreed. You are 100% right.
Top 15 talent at every skill position.
Agreed. You're right. They should not be last in multiple categories. Multiple. Like yards per game, yards per play, points per game, just all this stuff. They're dead last or 31st in all of it. Like, you can't ignore it anymore. And you've got you've drafted a first-round pick on a quarterback, even though I think he's a third-round player. They've drafted the quarterback, so if they're not going to get rid of Tomlin, a defensive guy, and hire an offensive-minded head coach for their rookie offense, for their rookie first-round quarterback, like a lot of these teams are doing, hiring offensive coaches for their franchise quarterbacks. If we're not going to do that, then he's got to make a splash hire as an OC. He's got to. And enough guys get fired every year that somebody's going to be available. Like,
Jason Garrett's not doing anything right now.
He's not doing anything. I mean, he doesn't light it up. Eric Bieniemy. I mean, somebody. There's other guys. We played Buffalo and got slaughtered. Okay, we played KC last year in the playoff game and got slaughtered. Okay, that's the cream of the AFC crop. Those two teams. That's the standard in the AFC. That's where everybody's aiming for. They're going to have to go through one of those two squads to get to the Super Bowl. Look at the light years. How many light years we are away from those two teams.
You can't even compare them.
Can't even compare them. And then when we played Buffalo this year, it was 31-0 at halftime or something crazy. Like, I mean, they killed us. It wasn't even close. And so it's like this we can't just sit around treading water and, like Tomlin said, hoping we'll keep plugging away at it and eventually have a breakthrough. No, that's not the deal. You know, we have enough talent offensively that we should be able to score 30 points in a game.
No, absolutely.
I couldn't tell you last time we scored 30 points. That unless we had a couple of defensive TDs or a special teams touchdown or something. But I couldn't tell you last time we scored any points. 30 points.
Maybe last year.
Maybe. I mean, if we can't remember, it's so rare.
Yeah.
That I can't even remember. So I don't even know.
Yeah, last year against the Chargers.
We lost too, didn't we?
Yep. I mean, we were losing by like 21 points. I mean, that's always how it was last year too. You
down early.
Look at our record and our results. It looks like we got in some shootouts, but would be losing like 28-3, and then put up 24 points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, then we scored 24 in the second half and lose 31-24 or something like that.
Whenever Matt Canada couldn't call the play and wasn't thinking about what.
No, it was when we ran the 2-minute offense and Ben was calling the plays, and Canada had nothing to do with it, which has worked for us this year. When we've run the 2-minute offense this year, we've gotten results.
Yeah.
Like, so stop wasting everybody's time with these crap bag play calls. Just run the 2-minute drill. Just run the no huddle. Just let him get up to the line, call play, and play ball. Unless he's going to throw picks like he did last game, the last two.
I mean, outside of last week, most of his picks have been, tough. Like, they haven't really been his fault.
Yeah.
Especially his
Claypool was responsible for 2 of them.
Yep. Claypool's responsible for 2, and, a couple other ones are just tip balls. Or
I think Deontay tipped 2 of them.
So I don't want to place too much blame on Kenny. Sunday night, those were the 2 worst passes I've seen in a long time.
The last one to seal the game was like the worst pass I've ever seen anybody throw.
And the people keep trying to defend him, saying, "Oh, Deontay didn't run the right route." It's like, still, you should never be throwing that ball unless it's to the back corner of the end zone, where only
or 10 yards out of bounds. You can't throw it across your body and leave it anywhere in the field of play.
No, I mean,
even if Deontay comes back for it, yeah. Even if he comes back for it, I don't know that he's going to break that up.
Sorry, let me restart my camera. I don't know. That looks better.
Floating head.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know why I'm phasing out, but need to get.
Hey, the program gets agitated talking about the Steelers' offense too.
No.
Special teams is another joke, man. That fat punter, dude, that guy sucks.
Oh yeah, he was supposed
Presley
to be
Harvin the third.
They talked about how great he was at Georgia Tech.
I mean, he'll beast one like 60 yards, and then the next 3 will be 20 in the 20s.
Oh, he skies so many punts that are, 34 yards, and then it seems like he just screws one up once or twice a game.
And then he hits one off his shin bone, like at some point.
Yeah, and that's part of the problem too. Is our defense is never in a situation where, they have the other team at the goal line.
Yeah. I think we did against Buffalo, and they had a 98-yard TD pass. Forget that. Forget that. We don't talk about that. They were holding anyway. Buffalo held every play anyway, but that's all right.
Yeah. We won 3-0.
That's it. Well, I don't know what the solution is other than blow it up in the offseason. They've got to get a franchise left tackle, a seventh rounder. Probably not going to be your franchise, decade long staple out there. There's been a lot of good linemen in the last few drafts. I'm not sure what the line prospects are like in this year's draft, but if we're picking anywhere in the lottery, I'm saying left tackle. We've got to go left tackle.
Oh, for sure. And there's a couple guys. They're definitely, top to mid first round talents at that position.
Agreed.
So we got to bite. Even if we do win 7 games and we have to move up 5 or 6 spots to get one of them, I think we should. Absolutely.
Yes, they should package up. Whether it's draft day, you rarely see the Steelers make draft day trades. I think that Devin Bush was the last one I can remember us making where we traded up to get someone, unless I'm just not remembering, which is entirely possible. But it just we've got to have that shutdown left tackle with the speed of the defensive ends, the speed of the edge rushers in our division alone. Myles Garrett and the Ravens pass rushers, and even the Bengals got that Hendrickson. The Bengals got speed, a speed rush as well, and we've just got to get a tackle. We've just got to get a tackle. A staple.
We do. We've had so much turnover on the line, especially, we had Pouncey and DeCastro forever, but it seemed like a turnstile the past few years where we're just kind of plugging guys in, seeing what works, and none of it's there.
Man, poor DeCastro, man. He was just kind of like here and gone. He didn't even get a send off.
Nope.
Or a farewell tour or a thank you, David, because that guy was a beast for 8 or 9 years he was there.
Yeah.
And then just one day his ankle was hurt, and then that was it. They cut him, and then never saw him again. But I think he's officially retired. He was at the game recently because I saw a picture of him on the sideline. He looks like Faneca now. He's like 180 pounds. Because you look at Alan Faneca, man. Faneca looks like Adam Silver for the the NBA commissioner. That's what Faneca looks like. Oh
gosh, I know. I saw him a couple months ago, just like scrolling through Twitter. I was like, can't even tell it's him.
I know, right?
Neva looked skinny too.
Yeah,
6'8".
All those big linemen, like the second they retire, they lose like 50 pounds, dude, and get back to like healthy weight.
Yeah, don't have to eat all that garbage.
Don't have to stay 350, or however big they are. But I think James Daniels has played really well. He's been really the bright spot of the line. Why they don't run behind him more is another question I have. Get on the goal line and they never run behind 78. It blows my mind. Like Bill O'Brien calling plays. But anyway, so that's kind of where we are. 2-5, approaching the bye week. I'm predicting we're going to be 2-6 going into the bye week. I'd almost wouldn't rush TJ Watt back. There's no real point for 2-6. If we do all this work and back into the playoffs, we're going to get slaughtered by whoever we play first anyway, just like last year. That team last year sucked, and somehow we got in the playoffs and got crushed immediately by the Chiefs. It was taking candy from a baby. So, and even the year before we were 11-0, and then lost 6 out of the last 8 games or something like that, and then got blown out by the Browns. First playoff game. I don't know, man. I'm tired of eking in the playoffs like with a 500 or a game over 500 and then getting slaughtered and then saying, hey, we made the playoffs. Hey, we made the playoffs again. Didn't have a losing season, made the playoffs. At some point we've got more is the standard in Pittsburgh. It's not called Sixburgh because we got to the playoffs and lose every year in the playoffs. That's not how it became Sixburgh. Should have been Sevenberg, Rashard Mendenhall. You hear me, Rashard.
Absolutely should have. And Aaron Rodgers gets to celebrate his one
freaking ring because of Rashard Mendenhall. I ever forget that name, but whatever. That's another show. But anyway, so after talking for about 45 minutes, we've come to the conclusion that the offense is brutal. It's a total dumpster fire, and there's really no solution other than to blow it up at the end of the season. They're not going to fire anybody midseason. They never do that. That's not the Steeler way. People might leave for another job midseason. That's fine, but I don't know that the Steelers ever. Couldn't tell you last assistant or much less coordinator that got fired in the middle of the season. He should never have been brought back this season, but Tomlin screwed up there, so just let him ride it out this season. We're not going to win, even if we get in the playoffs. We're not good enough to compete with the top-tier teams. So, start building the team. Stockpile some draft picks. Offload some if you got to. Some talent if you got to. But stock draft picks and start building this team, like, from the inside out. We've got talent at a lot of positions.
We do. I think we're not far off.
I think we're a good offensive line away from being a real contender.
And maybe a true lockdown corner.
Yeah, and an OC. Sorry, that goes without saying that we need a good play caller. But right. If TJ is healthy, that changes everything on the defense. Ahkello Witherspoon got a contract because TJ was so good last year. And what did he do when TJ got hurt this year? He got healthy scratched the last 2 weeks. Or maybe he's hurt, I don't know, but he's been a scratch the last couple of weeks because he was so bad early in the year. So, like that, TJ even got guys paid last year because he was so dominant. And then we lose him in week 1, and that just changed the entire complexity of the defense. Changed the whole outlook of everything when TJ went down. Because he single-handedly won that game in week 1.
Oh, yeah. The turnovers were huge, but, he disrupted most of those plays.
Yeah.
He's a big reason Joe Burrow.
He was a huge reason Burrow was so bad that game. But, we'll see.
See him again. Hopefully we'll have TJ.
It's coming.
It's going to be a doozy, too.
Well, we got the old stinking Eagles on this Sunday. Them stinking Eagles. I can't stand them stinking Eagles. EAGLES. Get out of here. Can't stand that. So Battle of Pennsylvania Sunday. I think Pittsburgh's going to get killed, but hopefully I'll eat crow. And then next week when we do this show, or a couple weeks when we do this show again, I'll sit on here and I'll eat some crow because we beat the Eagles. But I'm not holding my breath.
Yeah, I'm not dreaming. I'm pretty indifferent too. If we get crushed, I probably won't care.
Yeah,
just got to keep suffering.
Just got to keep suffering. Yeah, that's all we got to do. And I'll be there. Haven't decided if we're going to do a live watch party on Sunday. Since it's the Eagles game, I might do that. So if anybody's tuning in, or if you guys tuning in, join us on the watch party. It gets pretty fun, man. Especially if my cousin gets all rowdy. He is entertaining, to say the least. But anyway, Fonzarelli, man, thanks for hanging out here from Fonzville. I'm down here in the Gump, so hope everything's well with you, and maybe we can pull out a win Sunday, but probably not.
Probably not. Thanks, Jeff.
See you, Fonz.